What if I told you that the best way to get her attention when she's ignoring you isn't by chasing her, but by making her chase you instead? When she doesn't text back, it can feel like rejection. You start to question what went wrong, wondering why she's pulling away. But what if this moment isn't a setback, but an opportunity to shift the power back to you? The mistake most guys make is chasing her even harder, pouring their energy into a situation that's already slipping away. But the real power doesn't come from pleading or begging. It comes from silent, confident detachment. Silence is the most powerful weapon when used correctly. Right now, you can either keep trying to prove yourself to someone who's not reciprocating, or you can use this opportunity to build an unshakable sense of self-worth that she can't ignore. If you're ready to shatter her ego without saying a word, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control my emotions, not the outcome. Let's dive in. Number 1. When her silence says nothing about you. She's been quiet. No reply, no reaction, just the hollow space where a connection used to be, and now that silence starts to echo inside your mind, louder than any argument could. You begin asking the wrong questions. What did I do wrong? Did I push too hard? Am I just not good enough? But here's the hard truth, delivered with stoic clarity. Her silence is not about your worth. It's about her choices. And those choices are outside your control. Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." Her silence belongs in the second category. Whether she's playing games, unsure of herself, or simply not interested, that is her inner world. And the mistake men make isn't in caring, but in allowing someone else's indifference to shake their identity. When you internalize rejection, you lose your frame. When you take silence personally, you surrender your peace. But here's the twist. This silence, it's an opportunity. Not for revenge, not for proving anything, but for stepping back into your center, into the part of you that doesn't need validation to feel valuable. Let's talk action. First, you do nothing. That's right, nothing. You don't double text, you don't post a thirst trap, you don't ask mutual friends if she's okay. You let her be. Because your value doesn't shrink in the absence of her attention. Your silence becomes a statement. I don't chase what's uncertain, I build what's solid. Second, shift the focus. Her silence is no longer the soundtrack to your overthinking. It's the signal to go deeper into yourself. Hit the gym harder, knock out that side project, connect with people who do respond. Every hour spent in worry is an hour you could have used to evolve. Third, remember the psychology of attraction. When you pull back, not from bitterness, but from composure, you create contrast. She may start wondering, why isn't he chasing? Did he lose interest? Did I misjudge his value? That curiosity? It doesn't come from confrontation, it comes from detachment. This isn't manipulation. It's magnetism born from self-respect. And finally, detach from the outcome. Whether she responds or disappears forever is irrelevant. What matters is who you become in the process. You didn't lose anything. You've been given a chance to reclaim the one thing you forgot, yourself. So, when you're tempted to spiral, to chase, to explain, pause, breathe. Then act in alignment with your highest self. The man who doesn't need a reply to feel seen is the man everyone eventually sees. Now, speak out and comment below. Her silence doesn't shake me, I own my response. Number 2, win through stillness, why your silence speaks louder than any text. You want to do something, anything, a message, a meme, a just checking in nudge. You're hoping that maybe this time she'll finally respond, that maybe your next move will be the one that cracks her silence wide open. But let's be honest, every message you send while being ignored chips away at your power. It's not just a text, it's a quiet admission that you've handed her the remote control to your emotions. Stoicism teaches us this: reaction is weakness, stillness is strength. When someone pulls away and your first instinct is to chase, what you're really saying is, "My peace depends on you." But what if, instead, your response was no response? What if, instead of trying to prove your worth, you proved your self-control? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Read that again. Her silence doesn't need to be turned into drama. You don't need to attach meaning to it. You don't need to act on it. All you need to do is stay grounded. Think of it like this. You're a mountain, unmoving, stable, centered. The winds howl, the rain comes, but the mountain stays rooted. When you choose silence over reaction, you become that mountain. She expects pursuit, maybe even drama, but when there's only stillness, that unpredictability becomes power. It's unsettling in the best way possible. Here's your opportunity. Don't reply. Don't justify. Don't send that second text. Instead, live. Let your silence send the message she never expected, that her attention is not your oxygen, that your value isn't up for negotiation, that you are no longer someone who begs for closure. You create your own peace. So what should you do instead? Take that emotional energy and pour it into discipline. Journal, lift, build something. Refuse to let her silence live rent-free in your mind. Each time you choose stillness over scrambling, you grow. Each time you resist the urge to act, your frame strengthens. And here's the psychological truth. Silence forces reflection. While others chase and plead, you vanish into presence. And that absence? It starts to echo. She begins to wonder, questions arise, and unlike desperation, curiosity pulls. But you're not doing this to make her miss you, you're doing it to find you again. If you're ready to let silence become your loudest message, comment below. I choose stillness over reaction. My calm is my power. Number 3, the spotlight shift, from her silence to your self-discovery. It starts subtly, one unanswered text, then another. Before long, you've slipped into a state of mental limbo, checking your phone, rereading old messages, wondering what you did wrong. Her silence has become the center of your attention, the thing that dictates your mood and distracts you from your goals. You don't even realize it, but you've handed your focus over to someone who's not even responding. That's the trap, and here's how the Stoics would tell you to escape it. Turn the spotlight inward. When the world goes quiet, it's the perfect moment to stop looking out and start looking in. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not her replies, not her interest, your thoughts. Every minute spent obsessing over her silence is a minute stolen from your growth. The body you could have trained, the project you could have started, the book you could have read. You've been so consumed with her that you've forgotten you. But here's the truth that hurts and heals. She's not ignoring you because you're not enough. She's just not meant to define your worth. That job belongs to you. So here's your opportunity. Reclaim the narrative. When she pulls away, don't chase her, chase purpose. Take every ounce of that nervous energy and put it into building something solid. Become the man who isn't shaken by silence because he's too focused on progress to notice. Shift the story from, "Why doesn't she see my value?" to, "How can I live in a way that reminds me of it every day?" What can you do right now? Set a challenge. 1 hour a day, minimum, devoted entirely to you. Not for distraction, but for direction. Lift with intensity, work with clarity, meditate with intention. Build momentum so loud that it drowns out the silence completely. Psychologically, this shift does more than help you heal. It repositions you. Suddenly, you're no longer waiting, you're moving, and movement is magnetic. You become the man who doesn't chase attention, but commands respect. She may notice, she may not, but you'll notice. And that's what matters most. And here's the paradox. The less you focus on her, the more she starts to feel your absence. The man who stops orbiting around her becomes the one she starts looking for. not because you tried to be seen, but because you no longer needed to be. If you're ready to take your energy back and make it work for you, comment below. Her silence fuels my progress, not my pain. Number 4. Reverse the power dynamic. Make her wonder why you didn't chase. There was a time you'd do anything just to keep her attention. You'd text first, initiate the plans, apologize even when you weren't wrong. And now, in her silence, that urge creeps back in. Maybe if I say something, she'll remember me. But let's be honest, that never worked. Because when you chase, you reinforce the imbalance. You give her power and you give away your own. But what happens when you stop chasing? That's when the dynamic shifts. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can and release what we can't. You can't force her to reply, feel, or act the way you want, but you can control what you project, and nothing projects strength like quiet indifference. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Her attention is one of those things." When you stop reacting to her silence, something strange happens. She starts noticing yours, because now, instead of feeding her ego with attention, you've vanished into focus. You're no longer predictable, no longer emotionally available on demand. And that unpredictability? It doesn't scream neediness, it whispers mystery. And mystery by nature pulls. Picture two versions of you. One is still sending check-in messages, trying to spark a response. The other is calm, collected, building in silence, radiating growth without ever needing applause. Which one do you think she'll remember? Here's your opportunity. Live in such a way that your absence speaks louder than your words ever could. You don't need to post anything dramatic. You don't need to pretend. You simply stop giving your energy to someone who didn't value it and start giving it to yourself. Action step: if she reaches out again, answer but with composure. No snark, no sarcasm, no reference to her silence, just calm presence. Be polite, be powerful. Don't remind her of the gap, let her feel it. Psychologically, this is where the chase flips. She expected you to spiral. She expected anger, confusion, longing. Instead, she gets poise. And that, more than anything, makes her question whether she misjudged you, whether she underestimated what you were worth. But here's the catch. By the time she realizes it, you won't be chasing her. You'll be too busy choosing yourself. If you're ready to stop begging for attention and start becoming the mystery she can't shake, comment below. I don't chase. I become the question. Number 5. Mastering calm. How unshakable stillness makes you magnetic. The silence is uncomfortable. Your chest tightens when you see no reply. You start pacing mentally, checking your phone every few minutes, debating whether you should say something just to break the tension. But what you don't realize is this. The most attractive move you can make right now is none at all. Not out of spite, but out of strength. Because composure under pressure is one of the rarest traits a man can possess. Stoicism teaches that calmness isn't just a state, it's a signal. It's how you communicate power without ever raising your voice. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That estimate, her silence, is only painful because you let it define you. But what if you chose differently? Think of a calm lake. You toss a stone into it and the ripples spread, but the surface always returns to stillness. That's what emotional control looks like. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let those feelings steer the wheel. You stay in command. And in a world full of men who break down the moment they feel ignored, your silence becomes magnetic. Here's the opportunity. Turn discomfort into dominance. Instead of reacting to her distance, reward yourself with stillness. Let your calm be the gap she doesn't know how to interpret. Let her wonder why you're not upset, not chasing, not flinching. That mystery alone makes you harder to forget. Action step? Build a response ritual. Every time you feel the urge to reach out or spiral, breathe. Do 10 push-ups. Step outside. Pour that mental energy into a project. Replace reaction with routine. You're not suppressing emotion, you're channeling it. That's mastery. And here's the beauty of it. People notice composure. It's not flashy, but it's unforgettable. When she expected you to unravel, but sees you focused, glowing, improving, she'll feel that shift. Not because you tried to prove anything, but because you didn't need to. Psychologically, this flips the dynamic. You go from someone seeking reassurance to someone exuding presence. You're not another man lost in emotions, you're the man who mastered them. That's the energy that commands attention without ever asking for it. If you're ready to trade panic for power and emotion for presence, comment below. I don't break the silence, I rise within it. Number 6. Letting go of the outcome, the freedom you've been missing. You're still holding your breath, not literally, but emotionally, waiting for her to reply, waiting for her to notice, waiting for the story in your head to finally line up with reality. And that waiting, it's not just exhausting, it's imprisoning. Because in that moment, you're no longer the man creating his life. You've become the man waiting for someone else to validate it. But here's the hard truth wrapped in Stoic wisdom. The moment your peace depends on her reaction, you've already lost control. Epictetus put it bluntly, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. In this case, the desire is her attention, her validation, her yes. But when you detach from the outcome, you reclaim something far greater, your power. Let's be clear, letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting reality as it is and choosing to move anyway. Whether she texts back or ghosts forever is irrelevant, because the true test isn't what happens next, it's who you become, regardless of what happens. Imagine placing your happiness into a box, handing it to her and saying, "Please return this to me when you're ready." That's what outcome attachment looks like. But now, it's time to take it back. Here's your opportunity. Instead of obsessing over her response, anchor yourself in action. Start building habits that remind you of your worth without needing her confirmation. Go to bed earlier, lift heavier, read more, earn more, learn faster. Let your progress be the closure you never got. Action step? Practice outcome detachment daily. When you feel yourself hoping for her reply, pause and ask, what am I waiting for that I could be creating instead? Then take that energy and put it to work. Not as a distraction, but as a declaration. You're not the man who waits, you're the man who builds. Psychologically, this changes everything. She might still be silent, but you're no longer frozen. And ironically, that shift in you, the unbothered, self-contained version, becomes the most compelling thing she'll ever witness. Because you didn't rise to prove a point, you rose because that's what strong men do. Letting go isn't loss, it's liberation. If you're ready to stop waiting for someone else's response and start writing your own, comment below. I'm free from the outcome. I build, with or without it. Number 7. Her silence doesn't diminish you, it reflects her. You've stared at the screen, refreshing messages that don't arrive. You've replayed conversations, wondering where it went wrong. Maybe you even started blaming yourself. Did I text too much? Not enough? Say something stupid? But here's the truth you need to internalize. Her silence is not proof that you're not enough. It's a reflection of her mindset, not your worth. Stoicism gives us a powerful lens through which to see this. Epictetus said, "It is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting." The same goes for being ignored. You are not injured by her silence. You're injured by your interpretation of it, and that interpretation is entirely within your control. Maybe she's testing you, maybe she's distracted, maybe she's lost interest. All of that is about her, and when you shift your focus from reaction to reflection, you step back into your own story. Because the question isn't, why is she doing this? It's, what will I do now? Here's your opportunity. Stop using her silence as a mirror of your value. Use it instead as a magnifying glass, revealing where you still seek validation from outside sources. Then break that cycle. Right now, this is your chance to pull your power back from someone who didn't earn it and redirect it inward, where it belongs. Action step: journal one full page answering this question: who am I becoming in the absence of her attention? List everything you want to embody: calm, strong, creative, disciplined. Then act in alignment with that list. You don't need a reply to move, you need a mission. And here's what happens psychologically. You begin to unhook your emotions from her behavior. She no longer gets to determine your mood by ignoring you. She no longer holds the remote control to your self-worth. That creates a shift, not just in your mind, but in how others perceive you. You're no longer the man seeking a seat at someone else's table. You're building your own. And ironically, that's when the attention you used to chase begins to circle back. Not because you begged for it, but because you became someone who no longer needed it. Your value didn't decrease. It was simply hidden beneath a moment of self-doubt. Now, it's rising. If you're ready to reclaim your self-worth and stop giving away power that was always yours, comment below. Her silence is not my mirror. I know who I am. Number 8. Focus is the new flex. When you stop chasing, you start building. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes chasing her won't get her attention, but chasing your purpose will. You've been in that place where every buzz on your phone meant hope, and every silence meant a drop in your confidence. But what if I told you that every second you spend waiting for her message is a second stolen from the man you're supposed to become? This isn't about ego. It's about evolution. The Stoics were clear on this. Don't waste your limited energy on things outside your control. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." You weren't put on this earth to sit around hoping someone chooses you. You were made to create, build, grow. And that starts the moment you stop staring at her silence and start listening to your own ambition. Because let's be honest, while you're worrying about why she hasn't replied, your goals are sitting there untouched. Your body is waiting to be trained, your ideas are waiting to be built, your purpose is waiting for your full attention, and the longer you keep your eyes on her, the further you drift from that version of you that commands respect. Not because he begs for it, but because he lives in alignment with it. So, here's your opportunity. Make focus your comeback. Use her silence as the spark, not the setback. Turn every unanswered message into another hour in the gym, another page in your journal, another dollar earned, another skill sharpened. You stop chasing her, and you start becoming a man she would chase. But by then you might not even care. Action step: create a non-negotiable daily routine, something simple but sacred. Morning movement, reading, deep work. Track your progress. Watch how quickly your mindset shifts. When your energy has a direction, let momentum replace anxiety. Psychologically, this transforms you. You're no longer reacting, you're creating. You no longer wake up wondering how she feels about you. You wake up wondering how you're going to outperform yesterday's version of yourself. And that self-contained energy, that grounded fire, it's magnetic. And maybe, just maybe, when she finally looks up, she won't see the man who used to chase her. She'll see the man who outgrew the need to. If you're ready to stop chasing people and start building purpose, comment below. I replaced waiting with building, and I'm never looking back. You started by thinking that silence meant weakness, that not texting back was a mistake. But now, you realize it's your strength. The power was never in the messages you sent. It's in the power you reclaim when you stop chasing. She didn't ignore you. She revealed how much you've been chasing validation, and now you've learned to stop. If you're ready to become the kind of man who attracts instead of chases, like this video, subscribe, and comment. I am unshakable. Stay strong, keep evolving. Your best self is waiting for you to claim it.